Alright, YouTube, first and foremost, really quick here for those not aware, Assange never proclaimed that his balcony announcement had anything to do with the Clinton leaks. The media fooled you into believing that that was what it was going to be about so they could proclaim for the next week or so that he doesn't have any info. Don't believe them. I said before all of this happened, did I not, that that was not the meaning of the announcement. So calm your jets, folks. We do have a major leak, though. Guccifer 2.0, that happy hacker, Romanian, Russian, whatever, doesn't matter. Politico immediately started reporting, oh, another Russian hack. You don't know where these hacks are coming from. Trump is technically right when he says it could be a 400-pound dude in his basement. It really could. It could be anybody. It could be some weird foppish British dude with a top hat. It could be some Australian shitposting conglomerate. You don't know. But he got a hold of some juicy shit from the Clinton Foundation, including a list of people that appear to have, unfortunately, taken TARP funds and misused them, including a laundry list of congressional Democrats, such figures as House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, not surprised, by the way, Barney Frank, among others. It has a fairly lengthy donor list. There's like Barbara Streisand's on it, obviously, Spielberg, and some of these others. The people at the Clinton campaign don't want to comment on record about the leak. Well, I wonder why. It's because it's real. It's not a fake leak. When Politico immediately jumps, they're in collusion directly with the Clinton campaign. I think that's clear. Politico especially. Politico and Salon, essentially. Sort of her mouthpieces, MSNBC as well. When they immediately jump to the Russian hacker line, they're doing that for damage control, which to me proves that this is indeed real. That plus the fact that they don't want to comment on record about it, and their not outright denial means, yeah, it's a legitimate leak from the Clinton Foundation. What this shows is that a rather large host of congressional Democrats misused funds that were appropriated to the financial sector to try to get things going and prevent things from collapsing after our fiscal crisis back at the end of the Bush era, beginning of the Obama era. Sort of this generational Great Recession collapse that's formed much of our disastrous and crazy economic policy since then, with the government thinking that it should just bail out any private industry that happens to be failing as long as they got fiscal ties to it. I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, by the way. This may be overlooked because it's coming from the Clinton Foundation. I wouldn't be surprised if half of the people in Congress who are Republicans did the same thing that were there at the time. Of course they did. Of course they misused funds. The point is, yeah, Democrats do this shit. And the Democrats are the only ones pretending to be squeaky clean, we would never be corrupt, we're for the poor people, we're for the working class. No, you're not. And this just proves it. No, this is absolutely legitimate. She'll probably deny it. They'll probably come out and try to spin it. Either they'll get Donna Brazil there to say, oh, don't look at these files. There could be malware on them, like she did with the last Guccifer 2.0 leaks, which was always wrong. It was never true. It was just a ploy to keep less people from knowing their content, so they wouldn't do a little bit of digging and realize how fucking corrupt the DNC was. Because she's the head of the DNC. Why would she want to get screwed? It only makes sense. They'll probably do that, or they'll outright deny it. They won't use the, oh, it's the Russians, so don't pay attention to it because they hate the Democratic Party for some reason line. They'll use the, oh yeah, it's not true at all, ha, our systems were never compromised line, which is completely bogus. Otherwise, they would immediately come out, they would condemn it as a hack and say, no, it's not real, they haven't done that. You wouldn't see the media immediately, within literally a couple of hours, trying to cover their asses with the Russian story. This is a legit leak. It is a major leak. It's an October surprise. Of course, WikiLeaks, if you listen to Assange, if you listen to what he said during his announcement, yeah, he does have material related to the U.S. elections. He's just not leaking it in the middle of an announcement, which he was never going to do. And of course, Guccifer tips the hat to WikiLeaks and says, oh, congrats, 10 years of fighting for a good cause, and long live Julian Assange. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they should keep whistleblowing. They'll go after Republicans too. Right now, you've got them gunning for Hillary Clinton because Hillary Clinton's talking about wanting to conduct drone strikes on whistleblowers. Well, who can blame them? I'm sure that these people don't want to randomly get assassinated like Gaddafi was. Of course. They don't want to end up beheaded by a militant or killed by someone who will pose as a cat burglar and try to scale the wall of the Ecuadorian embassy or get droned in Sweden or whatever happens to be the case. So yeah, it looks like the Clinton Foundation was instrumental in helping to misappropriate TARP funds. The Troubled Asset Relief Program, of course, is what that stands for. A lot of people don't know what it means. TARP? Oh, that's what I cover my rock salt with when it's raining. That's what I have in the back of my pickup truck for my gravel collection or something like that to keep it from getting wet and getting all weird and mungy. No, it's actually a multi-hundreds of billions of dollars sort of program. And it looks like some number of billions, mysteriously went missing. Now, this happens again. I'm not going to give the Republicans a pass. It happens all the time. It does involve both parties. They both do this sort of crap. They both misappropriate funds whenever they possibly can. Oh, it's just dirt from wall to wall in D.C. But this list contains a bunch of Democrats that misappropriated those funds. Hopefully they can dig up which congressional Republicans were almost certainly involved in the same scheme. Although, since this program's being administered under Obama, maybe the Republicans weren't misusing it. Maybe they got their fill of dirty money back in the Bush administration. They're waiting for another Republican to get into office before they can dip their hands into our tax money. This is what it boils down to. Your money and my money was stolen by a bunch of congressional Democrats, including Pelosi and Barney Frank. I wonder if they'll get in trouble for it. Probably not, but if the public becomes aware of what happened, and it's spreading through the media now, of course, again, some of them will just say, oh, Russian leak, pay it no mind, just a bunch of crap, oh, Putin trying to screw with the elections. Doesn't this get a little bit tiring to listen to after a while? Like every corrupt thing that involves the Democratic Party has something to do with Russia lately. Don't you think they're gearing up to bring you to war with Russia? You really want to see millions of people killed? Because that's how you see millions of people killed. I don't support Putin. I don't support the Russian oligarchic regime. I think they're a bunch of crazy authoritarians. But at the same time, they're not singularly responsible for every woe that goes on within D.C. Our own Congress and our own president and our own judiciary are more than capable of screwing us all over without the help of Russia. Thank you very much. They're notorious for doing so. They've been doing it for decades and decades. And they're going to keep doing it. It doesn't even matter who's elected, by the way. It doesn't matter what incarnation of Congress exists. You need to strip back about 99% of our government entirely, virtually all the bureaucratic authority, in order to actually fix this problem. It'd take a monumental effort for some number of election cycles. You'd need more than one president to dedicate themselves solely to that cause, just to reform our own domestic structure, let alone all of our foreign involvements. But it's clear Clinton wouldn't do that because it looks like her foundation was involved in what essentially equates to a money laundering or embezzlement scheme. I'm not surprised in the least. That's about all. Peace out.